Thanks, Tim, for having me today, and thank you for the opportunity to talk about Wellnex Life. Do you want to go down the next slide, Tim? Next slide. Yeah, so here at Wellnex, and we want to be an innovative Australian brand and distribution company that's going to specifically focus on the health and wellness market. But what makes us different is our unique business model and what we offer to the market. So next slide, Tim. So the key to our success is being first or fast to market with new innovative brands and products. And the way we do that is that we have an experienced team and also the contacts within the retailer network. So we're able to pick up customer trends and produce new products and brands that customers want and what retailers are demanding. And with our extensive manufacturing contacts, we're able to produce those products in as little as 3 months, where some of our competitors can take anything from 6 to 12 months to produce those products. So being first or fast to market is critical to our success. But underneath that as well, we have an extensive infrastructure. So we have an internal sales team, we have an internal marketing team, and we have a national field force team, which services over 2,000 pharmacy stores and 3,500 grocery stores. And that unique infrastructure underneath is critical for our success, not only just to get the product on shelf, but to ensure that consumers purchase that product. That we support the retailers, educate the retailers, so they can educate the consumer to purchase our product over others. So put all that business model together, and it's a very unique and advantageous model for the company. Next slide, Tim. We already have an extensive portfolio of brands and products in the market. I think it's over 15 currently, but I want to pick up on two brands specifically that shows what we do here as a business. And one is the Wagner Liquids brand. So we innovated here at Wellnex a new product, a new range of liquid analgesic range, soft gel. We took that product to Chemist Warehouse, and they were so excited about this new product innovation that they asked to joint venture that brand with Chemist Warehouse. So that product will be launched within Chemist Warehouse retail chain at the end of this month. So it's a really exciting launch. And the other one I want to mention quickly is the Iron Company. So again, that's Australia's first slow releasing iron gummy. That's secured ranging in over 2,000 pharmacy stores here in Australia, including Chemist Warehouse and API. And only last week, we announced that that product will also go into the Coles supermarket chain. So again, that's just a sort of validates our business model in bringing new innovative products to market, then ensuring that those products are able to be retailed among the major players in the health and wellness market. Next slide, Tim. So we have relationships with these companies here on this slide represent about 90% of the health and wellness market here in Australia. And we have relationships with all these players, including some JV agreements, like I've mentioned with Chemist Warehouse. So what this does is when we bring a new brand to market, we're almost assured that we're going to achieve distribution. So that's really, really key. There's no point producing a product and not being able to sell that product through these retailer networks. Next slide, Tim. Look, there's no doubt the health and wellness market is the fastest growing market globally. I mean, one of the positives of COVID, saying that there is a positive, is that consumers' concentration on their health and wellness is only growing. So we're going to see continued acceleration of this market moving forward. And what that's really exciting is that both retailers and consumers are going to want new and innovative products to fill their shelves. So it's really, we're in the right place at the right time to grow this business. Next slide, Tim. Now, I can talk about our unique business model, but I think the figures speak for themselves. So this business has grown from about $6.7 million in financial year 18 to financial year 21, we did an $18.3 million revenue. Now, at the start of the year, we budgeted the revenue for this year to be about $21 million. Now, in the first 2 months, our revenue is up 49% compared to the prior corresponding period. So we're pretty sure not only are we going to do the 21, but we're actually going to beat it quite substantially. And the other thing I'll make a note is today we announced the Performance Inspire brand. Mark Wahlberg's Performance Inspire brand is going to be ranged in Chemist Warehouse, and sales from that brand aren't actually included in that $21 million figure. So we're very confident of the business moving forward. Next slide, Tim. So quickly, these are some key categories of focus that we want to focus on as a company. We are, some of our products are already in these segments, but one category I already want to focus on is the cannabis. So at the moment, we're working towards being one of the first companies to submit a TGA application to get an accredited medicinal cannabis product to market. That is a large market. If the rules around it have only changed this year, and we want to be one of the first players to have a TGA accredited medicinal cannabis product in the Australian market. So there will be some news coming out shortly about that particular category. Next slide, Tim. So the company is, while it's growing, is wanting to accelerate its growth even further. We're looking at bringing new brands and products to market. We're also looking possibly at acquiring some future brands that would accelerate our growth. And one particular focus we are really focusing on is the launch of an e-commerce platform. The growth of online sales, especially through this COVID period, has been enormous, and we want to take advantage of that. So in the new year, you'll see the company launching a new e-commerce platform for its current brands and future brands as well. We want to increase our joint ventures, build on the Chemist Warehouse relationship, look at some contract manufacturing work for some retailers and suppliers. And just a quick note on that, we have currently got 2 contract manufacturing agreements, with one with a retailer and one with an Australian pharmaceutical company. We're currently looking at expanding that with an international pharmaceutical company for one of our products that we're currently producing. So that's really going to build on our revenue moving forward as well. So that's really exciting. Quickly about our distribution channels. 95% of our revenue comes from the Australian and New Zealand market. So there are opportunities for the business to grow internationally. So in the new year, we'll put some focus into growing our distribution channels internationally. Next slide, Tim. With any business, you need to have the right people in the right place. And I think at Wellnex, we've built a very experienced team with the right experiences to grow this business. Quickly, if you look at Georgia Sorotopoulos, she was general manager of the Big W Group, reported directly to the Woolworths board. Zach Bozanowski has been 35 years experience in the FMCG space, was a co-founder of Boost Vitamins, which earlier this year was sold to Procter & Gamble. And Vince Cadalda, our head of sales, has over 23 years experience in the FMCG space, including 15 years at Nestle as head of sales. So I believe that we have the right business model and the right team to drive this business forward, which is really exciting. Next slide. So in summary, we have a unique business model, a unique infrastructure that we've built within the business. We're in the right market at the right time. Our revenue and our numbers show that we are doing something right with our growth in revenue, and we're looking at continuing to accelerate our revenue moving forward, and also our profitability as well. So on that note, I'll pass back to you, Tim.
Right, thanks, George. Quick question. Are you profitable? They're huge revenue numbers. When are you cash flow positive, and what does that look like?
Yeah, so at the moment, we're investing a lot of money into the brands and products that we're bringing out. We've got an aim to be profitable at the end of this financial year, so towards the last quarter of financial year 22. As we bring more brands and products to market, our GP margin will increase, which will accelerate our profitability sooner than later.
And can you talk a little bit more on international distribution? Is China a focus? I know there are obviously quite a few businesses targeting China with Australian, health products.
Yeah, there are, and everyone thinks China is the main market, and it is a large market. But our focus at the moment is firstly concentrating on the Australian market, but going international. And we've got a lot of focuses, not just China, but outside of China, which I think are easier markets to attack, including Vietnam. So we're getting first sales of our skincare brand into the Vietnamese market. With Chemist Warehouse as well, and the relationship we've built there, they're actually expanding into Europe. So they're actually in Ireland at the moment. They're expanding into the UK in the not too distant future. So that's giving us an easy access to some international markets. So China isn't our main focus. We think there's some complexities within that market, and I think there are easier markets to first enter into before we look at China.
And what sort of margins are you operating on, given you've got a distribution in Chemist Warehouse? What are your margins on your product range?
Yeah, so depending on the product SKU, our skincare range anything from 45 to 60% margin. And nutritional dairy products, anything from 35 to 50% margin. So it really varies on the kind of product, but we will be aiming for a GP margin of around 45 to 50% across the whole group.
And COVID's always a question, but it looks like your revenue is growing. But you know, the chemist, not every chemist is open, right? In Sydney, for example. So is the unlocking of the rest of the country a potential positive as well?
Yes, it is. But saying that, you look at our revenue growth in the first 2 months compared to last year. And I mean, I know there was COVID last year as well, but I think the lockdowns have been more severe, especially New South Wales and Victoria. We're up 49%. So what you've seen is that even though some chemists have shut down, they're one of the few stores that are open as well. So that people are going to chemist stores in greater numbers. But also what you have found is, for instance, Chemist Warehouse online platform is booming in sales. So people are, even though they might not be able to visit the stores, the actual traffic flow through the online channels into those stores is growing rapidly. And that's why we want to get into that e-commerce side, because that's just going to keep growing and growing moving forward.
And there's a question here, what percentage of your sales are through Chemist Warehouse? So it's a good question, actually. How much of your revenue comes from that particular partner and the others that you distribute through?
Yeah, at the moment, I'd say roughly around 40% of our revenue. And the rest is coming through API, which we've got significant arrangements through, and through the Coles and Woolworths channels, which we've got brands and products in there as well. We're going to make sure we're not Chemist Warehouse centric. We have got a wide distribution channels, as you can see from that previous slide. But also remembering Chemist Warehouse is a dominant player in this market, and you need them to keep growing your products. And they're one of the retailers that also take risks on new brands and products as well. So they're a very good partner to have to grow your business as well.
And do they white label their own products, Chemist Warehouse? Is that a potential risk for you if they go down that path, or is that potentially an opportunity where you can manufacture those products and white label them for them?
It's absolutely an opportunity. So we are currently doing some contract manufacturing work for Chemist Warehouse for one of their brands, for one of our products currently. For instance, the Wagner Liquid G6 brand, now they did a 50-50 joint venture. Under that relationship, they pay for all the sales and marketing, which is the major cost of any brand and distribution company. So what they're doing is they're alerting the customer of this new innovative product, which then allows us to take that same product and put it into another brand, into other retail channels, to grow our sales. So we don't see it as a disadvantage. We think actually it's a positive for us as Chemist Warehouse. Educate the consumer about new innovative products. We're able to use that marketing that they're doing to grow our brand in other retailer networks.
And just finally on those revenue numbers, and you said that you're not cash flow positive yet. Where do those costs come from? Where is your cost base?
Oh, the cost base is primarily in marketing. The cost base is primarily in running the sales team and the national field force team. The business itself, the Brand Solutions Australia business that we bought in July this year, as a standalone is profitable. Obviously, Wellnex has all the corporate costs and other costs associated with running a publicly listed company. I think by the end of this year, we will be profitable. We don't have to increase our revenue or our GP margins to cover the whole cost base of our business moving forward.